So yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit about this as well, and probably post to YouTube. I was a little bit unsure if whether it was worthy of having a video record discussion about it, but I think it is pretty interesting, considering it seems the Pakistani community have decided to ban Fakumram for the majority of tournaments, it seems. I'm just going to quote Arslan Ash here. Apparently, there was somewhat of a dialogue between Arslan and Ni, well, the two best players, I would say. They were arguing on Twitter about Fakumram and about tier whoring, which we've seen a lot of lately in the competitive Tekken play. Sorry, I'm just going to move my stick. Not my penis, my arcade stick. I'm just gonna clarify that. It's not that big. But yeah, I mean, Evo Japan, say no more. Every time a character is extremely strong, everyone is playing that character. Season 2 saw a lot of Geese, Kazumi, and Jin, and Steve, because those characters were... A lot of people have this very romantic, nostalgic view of Season 2. Oh, Season 3 is so horrible. Season 2 was much better. It's like, it really wasn't. You had a couple of characters who were just... they were a joke. So now we have Season 3, and we have other joke characters, basically. We have Leroy, Fakumram... But where you could say at least that the joke characters in Season 2 were very difficult to play. Not so much with Leroy and Fakumram. But, so yes. This is what Arslan is saying. So we're talking about tier whoring. And how viable that is. And how it's been very viable for the last few years with Tekken 7. This is what I have been saying for a long time. Even Ulsan admitted this as well. Quote, the only way to beat Fakumram is to pick Fakumram. They said the same thing about Leroy, basically. And Arslan continues, we Pakistani people, majority top players, are not playing this stupid character as it is banned in almost every tournament in Pakistan. So, Fakumram is banned. They decide to not include him as they feel he is too strong. I find this a little bit interesting for many reasons. It's like, did they do the same thing to Leroy? They certainly did not do the same thing to Akuma, even though they said that Akuma was just broken beyond belief. And he certainly was in Season 1 and 2. But I never heard about him being banned. More so, he was rather, everyone played him in Pakistan. Everyone either seemed to main Akuma or have a pocket Akuma that they could bring up at any time. But maybe the reasoning here is that they feel Fakumram is even worse than what Akuma used to be, or what Geese used to be, or what Leroy used to be, or Leroy is. I have no idea. Only Arslan can answer to that, of course. But it's interesting that they have banned Fakumram. I personally still feel that Leroy is just as much of a problem as Fakumram. Leroy is a joke. They've nerfed him a lot, but he still retains the most obnoxious moveset in the game, if you ask me. He's a joke. And he's way too easy. Right, and this was in response to, as you can see here, Ni is showing that the Africa TV Tekken League Season 1 finals. So the finals were Fakumram versus Fakumram. A lot of top players see Fakumram as the strongest current #1 character, strongest character, due to why the hell, and it's so basic really, why do you give a character the best reach in the game combined with the best movement? With like Tag 2, Tekken 5 movement. Why not just one of those? Why do you give a character both of those? And of course, a broken hitbox where a lot of moves won't even connect on Fakumram. It's like, what? And he's as big as a house, but his hitbox is about as thick as Lily's waist. And I'm not joking here. This is actually how he operates in-game. He's as big as a brick house, but he has Lily's waist for a hitbox. What happened during the production of Fahk Ram? It's like, how do you even explain that? I don't know. I don't know how you do that. For those of you who don't understand what I'm saying here, his sidestep is more powerful than Lily's because he is rail thin when he sidesteps. His hitbox is literally rail thin. He can step things in this game that no other character can do. And of course, you've seen his backdash, also one of the most powerful in the game. But so here we see Arslan continue the conversation, tweeting at Ni, saying, Ni is a champion. He can win by picking any character. Certainly. But where's Ulsan's love for his Kazumi? So this is, I guess he's criticizing Ulsan here for picking Fahk Ram. Everyone is here to win. And of course, you remember EVO Japan, where everyone played Leroy. Everyone is here to win. And to win, we are forced to play overpowered characters that we don't ever want to play. That hurts. And yeah, it really does suck. And it's this echoes a little bit what JDCR, and this is the match you're seeing here is the finals. It's Ni versus Ulsan, and they're both playing Fahk Ram. But this echoes a little bit what JDCR said in his video regarding the worst characters in the game, where I did a little commentary onto that, where he said that he feels most of the characters are fine in Tekken 7. It's just that the characters that are very strong are just way too strong. And here I just couldn't agree more. Like the top tiers in Tekken 7 are always too strong. It's like Leroy, Fahk Ram, and they're super easy as well. Steve, Geese, Akuma. There's a lot of characters you can insert here. But they are all allowed to have Zafina. They are all allowed to have things that just the other characters don't have. Crazy mix-ups, crazy frames, crazy damage. And it's like for some reason, the developers have such a hard time balancing certain characters. Steve is always one of the best characters in the game. Always. They don't want to mess with Steve. They always want Steve to be ridiculously fucking good. That's just the way it is, and you know, we learn to live with it. And it's the same for Devil Jin. Devil Jin is always very, very strong. And a character introduced in Tekken 7 is Geese, guest character from SNK's King of Fighters. For some reason, Geese always has to be about overpowered, I would say. In Season 2, he's so good, you start to cry when you understand how good he is. It's like you can just give up. He's so good. So they nerf him for Season 3. But you know what? We nerfed his neutral a bit. Let's give him a Moon Slicer. So whenever he connects a standing 2 and he has a 1 bar, you just die. He'll wall splat you. From any point of a stage, he'll wall splat you. So again, the character's a joke. Oh, you know what? We need some new characters. Leroy, Fahk Ram. You want a challenge? Go through their move list and try and find some form of move or utility those characters are missing. Try to find something they are missing. The common thread with those two characters, these two new original characters, is that they can do everything. They are perfect. And they are also really strong. It's not only that they do everything, they do everything exceptionally well, and there's no commitment. There's no hard execution. There's no memorization of super large move lists. There's no understanding of complicated mind games. There's only do attacks. Because the attacks so severely hamper your opponent's ability to defend. because they neutralize movement. Either, you know, depth, moving in depth, the side steps, or moving, you know, on a 2D basis with backdashes. Both of those characters just slay you no matter what. And incredibly oppressive frames, fantastic punishment, ridiculous combos. And you can only agree with these guys, you know, in JDCR. Please nerf the top tiers. But again, I'm just worried for Tekken. What does this say about the future of Tekken when Leroy and Fakumram are the way they are? And how do you even fix them? You can tone down Geese, you can tone down Steve, Akuma, Jin, you know, those characters. But what do you do about Leroy and Fakumram at this point? How do you fix them other than just honestly rebooting them, hitting the reset button, removing chunks of their move list and altering other moves in their move list? I honestly can't see no other way of fixing them. And maybe someone at Bandai Namco going to the lead game designer, giving him as he's eating his banana bear, yum, 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 giving him a big slap across the back of his head. Slap. And then just say, hey, how about Fakumram not having twice the amount of movement as the other characters? Can you do that? And he'll probably say, oh, now that you say it, I think that was a bad idea. A bad idea. I mean, oh yeah, it was a bad idea. Nerf it. And then they remove, they nerf his movement. And wow, oh look, it's starting to look more balanced. He still has crazy reach. He still has crazy combos. He still has crazy mix-ups. But he doesn't move twice as fast as the other characters. Wow! It took almost 95 IQ to figure that one out. Wow, guys, progress. We have progress. But yeah, for some reason, certain things are just difficult, I guess. Oh, Geese. Why should this character that's already very strong, why does he get to death combo you when he has 1 meter? Well, who in this office okayed this? I did. Can you remove it? Yeah, I don't know. Why is it so hard? What is so hard? Okay, can we buff Gigas? 3 years of being almost unplayable at competitive level. Can we buff Gigas maybe? Yeah, he's the opposite of Fakumram. No movement, terrible mix-ups, bad combos. Everything is shit except for his jab, his 1-2, down forward 1, down 2. Everything else is shit. Why is Marduk Gigas ++? Hello, can someone answer this? Can we take that guy that just goes, can we replace him with someone else who knows how to do this? Honestly, I joke a lot right now, but I'm not joking in that, honestly, how hard is it? Just buff Gigas, buff Lars a bit, take these crazy top tiers like Steve, Akuma, Geese, Leroy, Fakumram, take them down. Especially Leroy and Fakumram need a lot of work. They should never have been released the way they are. Rework them substantially. Boom, you close the gap and we have a much better game. And a much more interesting game at that. Steve is fine the way he is. No, he's not. Why did they give him that rage drive? He was fine the way he was in Season 1. Was very strong. Why did he need that rage drive? It's like there's a trade-off. It's like law. he has some great tools. So you know what? He doesn't even need a huge rage drive. Devil Jin, arguably, you know, not a decent rage drive, but it's not among the best. You know, minus 14. But you know what? He's so good. He doesn't need a great rage drive. Season 1 Steve, great character, best counter hits, a fantastic character. Doesn't need a good rage drive. But then, of course, it's Steve. He always has to be really good. What happens? For some reason, he gets a new rage drive. No one else, only the golden boy with the golden locks, Steve Fahk, gets a new rage drive, and boom, best rage drive in the game. Did he need it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's, for fuck's sake, give me a break. What is this fucking bias with some characters? And it's been there for so long, that bias. Devil Jin, Steve. It's like, yeah, someone's dropping the ball. And don't get me wrong, this is the best balancing they've ever done, but there are some things that, to say the least, someone needs to take a look at. But yeah, that's me yapping on and on about my own thoughts here. But I think in general, what we're trying to say here is that, as JDCR said, the best characters in Tekken 7 are just way too strong and need to come down. And I certainly hope the big balance patch that Harada has hinted at, that will be with us with the big update, well, Season 4, I'm guessing, that it does a lot to do some of the things I just said. Because if that balance patch hits and Leroy is still Leroy, Fahk Ram is still Fahk Ram, I'm really going to start disliking this game, I think. And I'm so happy that Fahk Ram and Leroy were not launch characters. That they came into Season 3. Because if they would have been there from the start, I never would have said as good things about Tekken 7 as I have. Tekken 7 is great, but thank God it took, like, what, 2 years for us to get acquainted with those fucks. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this rant.